For today's short video, we will be dismantling the screen from a Dell laptop. This is a scrap one. It's quite badly scratched. It's not actually broken, but it is scratched. The laptop it was from is a write-off. So I will be taking it apart to show you how to do it, so you don't damage your own laptop doing it. Firstly, these things here are just little rubber stoppers. They're glued on with like a self-adhesive coating. Now, because I'm not keeping this, I'm just going to pull them apart. I think there's nothing under those. No, these ones here are just purely rubber buffers. They don't actually have any screws under, but the other 6 will. If you have a slightly different model laptop, that may vary. This is where I find my screwdriver doesn't fit these screws. Yes, it does. Now, it's advisable. You'll find these screws are difficult, first of all, to remove, because being a laptop, they're expected to move. I don't know whether you can see on there, there's some blue thread seal on there that makes it a little tricky to undo them. However, when you're taking these apart, you should ideally have an egg cup, or actually an egg carton makes a good choice, because you can put the various parts in it. Now, hopefully this won't go embarrassingly wrong. Now, I'm not sure how this will come apart, as I have not taken one apart before. It's as much a learning experience for me. Oh, I see, there are clips. You'll need something to break the clips gently. I would suggest a credit card or flat blade screwdriver at the outside. Just very gently unclip it all the way round. I mean, obviously I'm not worrying if I damage it, because I'm not planning on keeping it. No doubt, however, you will be keeping your laptop. And the front bezel will just come off like this. Now, these screws here, 1, 2, 3, 4, they hold the hinges on. Now, because I'm disassembling this completely, I'm getting rid of them. If you undo it, the hinges will just come off like that. And actually, interestingly, you'll find if you have a problem with the screen being loose, it may be these screws have come loose. So it may be worth checking where the kind of wiggling, as it were, is. Now, this screw here, that one there, is holding that clip in place. Now, this clip, I believe, actually is not a clip. No, I'm right, it's not a clip. That is one of the Wi-Fi antennas. Now, you'll find it's screwed all the way along. Now, you shouldn't yourself remove this like I just did. Do not do that. That was plastic welded in. You'll have to undo all these screws around the edge here, which is fun to say the least. But the reason I'm actually taking this apart for myself is that I want the Wi-Fi antennas, because I believe they will fit my 3G Wi-Fi adapter. Not 3G, what am I talking about? They will fit my USB Wi-Fi adapter, and thus allow me to get much better signal strength. And I think this is another one here. No? I don't know what this is actually. I hope this is all coming out on the video, because Unfortunately this camera doesn't have a front-facing viewfinder. But yeah, we will take this apart gently. Hopefully. There we go. Oh, I see, the Wi-Fi cables are actually in the way slightly. Very odd. It's like a Wi-Fi stub antenna. Again, you wouldn't want to lose these screws, trust me. They are not readily available off the shelf, and if you can find them, they're likely to be expensive. In fact, I should keep them, just in case I ever need some for a laptop. And I think that should now be, yeah, it's now free to lift out. That's the actual module itself. Now, as you see here, this is all riveted to the plastic case. That's aluminium or aluminum if you're American. But yeah, that's all solid. And the Wi-Fi antennas, which are what I actually want, are buried in here. Yeah, you wouldn't want to do this. If you do need to change the Wi-Fi antennas for any reason, you will have to do it carefully, so as not to damage the lid. It's two antennas, or antennae, with a tiny connector on each end. Yep, FX2 antenna with a Foxconn part number on it, so made by Chinese slave labour. Oh well. It's just stuck down to this with what appears to be adhesive tape. It's a two-way Wi-Fi stub antenna, 2.4 gigahertz obviously. There's the antennas. These bits here are the actual radiating sections. That's rather interesting, actually. I shall have to mess around with that, but that's a piece I want for my laptop. Right, this is now just an aluminium plate. As I'm scrapping it, I will separate the aluminium. It's quite neat, it's quite thick aluminium sheet, and that is polycarbonate ABS plastic. I should probably remove the little sticker from the middle there. I could put that somewhere, I don't know where. No suggestions, please. Dispose of this. And now, 10 minutes into the video, roughly. This can be disposed of as well. That's just plastic. These bits are all... The hinges are just a mixture of metal, plastic, pot metal and other bits. I don't actually, it seems to be seized up, that hinge. Might be one of the reasons the laptop was scrapped. You can see this is the connector to the motherboard. This is the backlight inverter. I will actually keep this cord. Well, I'll show you in a minute. This might actually be a very useful piece to keep. Now these connectors are a pain. small amount of mercury. Yes, I know it does. Oh, I see how this works. Pop those clips out, and this should now unplug. There we go. There's the cable assembly. Don't know whether this is coming out at all. May have. But you can see these 4 wires here are actually individually screened coaxes of less than 1 millimetre thickness. It's actually quite incredible. And it's got a Foxconn part number on it again. But I will keep that because I intend to use the backlight inverter. Maybe. Depends if the backlight is intact. Now, this is the bit that you will get if you purchase a new screen. You will receive this. Held on by one screw by the look of it. Could be wrong, but it looks like just one screw. And a plug at that end. Just making sure that this is where me doing this will hopefully save somebody from damaging their laptop. It's one of the reasons I'm doing it. Yeah, there's just the one screw holding it on, and it's basically clipped into this metal here. This is the backlight inverter. Takes low voltage DC in there, probably with some control signals, and produces high voltage out that end, probably in the order of a few thousand volts. You don't want to be touching this end while the laptop's on. Even when it's running on battery, it will be an extremely high voltage. So be warned, it hurts. Two more screws here. These screws probably just hold on this aluminium clip, aluminium plate here. This will all come in one piece if you purchase it. You won't have to take this apart at all. Ah, there we go. That's what was behind there. Hopefully I haven't just broken the tube. I probably have. That's the backlight tube. Yeah, I have. Rat burgers, as they say. Oh well. This is the actual tube, which I broke, being a heavy-handed little beast. Actually, it looks like it was quite far gone anyway. That's the thing that contains a tiny amount of mercury. It's nothing dangerous. I've got several of these already, so the inverter will still be useful to me. That can go in my box of junk over there. Now, remove the remains. Yes. There's the cold cathodes, there's the connector, I will keep that as well. Plug that in there. There we go. Cut those to the same length. I can extend them. Aluminium. Now under here is all the control electronics for the board, for the screen rather. This, again, this is now scrap anyway, because it was scratched, but yeah, under here, these here are actually silicon chips, literally silicon chips, as in chips of silicon. Not very often you see the raw chip. See, its silicon is like glass. You can see, oh, you probably can't see actually. I might try to put a piece in there. But yeah, these are the actual board drivers. They're the chips that drive the horizontal and vertical segments of the display. I don't know whether they're silicon or glass actually, they could be glass. The silicon's very difficult to tell. No, they're silicon, I can see. I recognise the colour. Now I'm taking these off in the hope that I'll be able to maybe in a separate video, I don't know, I might be able to show one of them in close-up. Ooh, I got one in one piece. That's what I was after. There's one there in one piece. Now this is just a normal circuit board, just very, very thin, with the interface drivers, the interface chip there that was connected to here, and there's an inductor, some surface mount capacitors, and that, as they say, is about all there is to it. That's probably FR4. Yep, that's an FR4 board made by LG Philips LCD Co Limited. Can go over there, nothing valuable in that. Aluminium frame. It says don't touch because it's static sensitive. If you touch a working panel or one that's good, it won't be good anymore. Now this is the bit that I was interested in showing people. Here is the panel itself. This is, it was actually broken. I didn't realise that. I don't know whether you can see through there. It's actually broken in several places, and they are quite old breaks, so that's not something I've just done. That's the actual LCD. You can kind of see through it, maybe. That's the bit with the active transistors on it, hence TFT, thin film transistor. There are actually transistors on this board connected with transparent electrical connections. There's probably a polarizer on here. Yes, there is. I can feel it. Try and separate the polarizer if I can. Oh no, I've torn the panel in half though. Oh, lovely. I've exposed the actual liquid crystal. When they say liquid crystal, they actually mean liquid crystal. It is a liquid. You won't be able to see it. You might be able to see some little bits there. The liquid, I don't know what the liquid is. It's not considered to be very healthy to touch. But yeah, the polarizer, I'm not going to try and separate it anymore because it's shattering into lots of thin pieces of glass, which is not very nice. I'll just dispose of this as one piece. Now, under here, then, is a magnifier. That is actually a... I don't know whether it's a magnifier or a lens assembly of some kind. It's got aluminium on it and slightly reflective from one side, transmissive from the other. Very interesting. Well, to me it's interesting. Another piece of lens type stuff. Very reflective and transmissive depending on what angle you look at it at. A diffuser. And back sheet is just reflective white. And this is the interesting, clever part. Looks like a sheet of perspex or plexiglass. If you remove that, it just looks like any normal sheet of plexiglass. If you can feel it though, or hear, if you can hear that, there are pixels individually formed onto there to reflect, or individual light sources rather, and it acts as a giant light pipe. It's thin at this end, sorry, it's thin at this end, thick at this end. This is the end the tube was at. The light is evenly distributed. If you put light in this side, it's evenly distributed across the whole screen, and these layers separate that light out to produce a plain, level background of light, which forms the background to the picture. And hopefully that has saved somebody from destroying their laptop.